All right, welcome to day 11. My name is Ermina, and this is an invitation for those of you who have been on this journey so far with me to grab a cup of tea, have a seat, because this one's going to be a little longer. I'm probably going to do this in three parts, not three very long parts, but I'm going to pause myself, continue recording, because I really want to be centered and focused when I share this, because it was an epiphany day for me. Day 11 was a typical, another 20-minute walk, nothing drastic, just get out there and walk and honor the fact that the sun is a fuel for me. And it was a beautiful sunny day, and I just wanted to be out there in the sun. And I wanted to be there longer than 20 minutes. But like I said, I start off by telling myself 20 minutes, and then uh, whatever extra ends up happening, ends up happening. And nothing physical happened. In fact, my knee, there was no issue going down the steps. Actually, that's not true. The last three steps, I felt a little discomfort. But the first, whatever, I don't know how many steps there are, um, felt fine. I was like, oh my gosh, already happening. I'm already, getting into a better condition physically. So that was like a win. And then the last three was a little tough. And I was like, okay. And when I say tough, I mean, it wasn't like painful. It was just discomfort, right? It was discomfort. Um, it was how I ended up getting out there. I initially, when I was doing the planning for my day, I initially had walking and then a couple other activities. The other activities were money earning activities. And I started to doubt myself. I'm like, why you go? You need to get this done first, the money earning activities or the money generating activities. And so I was telling myself, you could do that afterwards. You can walk afterwards. But I also know me well enough to know that's not going to happen. If I push walking till the end of the day, middle of the day, it doesn't happen. Or any kind of movement activity, it doesn't happen. It's less likely to happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but it's significantly less likely to happen. But what the epiphany for me was, and I don't know if I should bring this up now or bring it up after I talk about, I'm looking at my little notes, resistance, physical resistance. Um, I'm going to bring it up now. What came up was my priorities has changed. This stage of reinventing, I don't like the word inventing, but realigning with myself, this stage of rediscovering, regrowing, whatever the word might be. But at this stage, my priorities have shifted, and they shifted so subtly underneath the radar that I didn't realize it. And this is how they shifted. I always prioritize money making activities over everything else, especially my health stuff. So if I had to go to work, that was a priority. If I had to create something for my own business, that was a priority. If I had to plan, organize, get ready for an event or something I was doing, a presentation, that was a priority. And then I'll go and work out. And then I'll go and walk. This is much later in life, by the way. So it's important to differentiate that compared to when I was actually, my livelihood was earned by being a physical person as a trainer. That was the opposite. Um, but in this realm, this stage realm, it's funny, I'm seeing it as a realm. Um, Health was second. Um, and here's the epiphany. A lot of other things came after that. Relationships, um, fun. Like it was earn and then everything else happens, or income and then everything else happened. And while that's good at some level, but I think it created for me Not just burnout. It created that. We know that. That's a fact right there. But it also created resentment against my own work, resentment against the work I was doing, whether it was working for someone else as an employee or working for myself as a, a freelancer or supporting someone else, whatever the thing might be. It there was eventually some sort of resentment. Mind you, I would not have said resentment then. I'm saying it now because I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Again, we're supposed to be talking about me walking, right? But this is what ended up happening at the end of the first 11 days. Realizing that that no longer is the case for me. I've shifted that, and it could be age, it could be stage, age and stage in life. It could be just where I am, because I know people who are, you know, much younger who have reached this stage or this way of thinking, um, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't matter where I am or you are. If you're reaching it at 60, great. At 80, great. I mean, we've seen people who are in their 80s, 90s, or whatever, not 90s, but older, who said, I started a new fitness program at 80. Well, that's when they got it, you know? But this is when it made sense for me to put health first, because I think, and I'm just kind of winging it. I think part of what happened was I was always super fit, right? And I, even though I was kind of sickly younger, but as I got older, I rarely got sick, rarely. And I was, this health guru before the health guru, a health enthusiast, before a lot of the stuff that we see now was popular, what people call vegan and vegetarian before it was popular. Um, meditating on it before it was all the stuff I was before it became a thing, right? It was just the fringe. I was part of the fringe group that was doing it, and everybody would judge us, especially the whole food eating habits. There was a time when those things I had to find whole foods at co-ops, like things that weren't denatured. I could only get them at co-ops until Whole Foods came in and put them out of business. A lot of them, anyway. Oh, that's a whole other conversation. Other conversation. It didn't put all of them out of business, but a lot of people struggled because it provided something that in a much larger uh, way that just small mom and pops could do. Um, so even during those times, health was second. It was always after I earning, making my earning my livelihood came after my liberty. My Rasta word here, borrowing it from Rastafarian, Rastafarian. So it came after my liberty, my doing my thing came after doing the thing that earned me my keep, and that has shifted because, and I think I just completely went off here. So let me get back to what I was trying to say. I have been sick enough in recent years to know what it's like to be to really be out of shape and to really be sick. And now I'm like, oh, that's what people mean. But prior to that, I didn't really know because for some reason, I was able to like really bounce back very quickly and my body would just fight things off, But when I started getting sicker, and I'm not claiming this as a permanence, it's something that visited me. Bye bye. It's something that visited to teach me that this is what you can experience if you don't do the lifestyle stuff. Okay. This is what pain in your joints feel like if you don't do the life. So now I know it's no longer something I read or people talk to me about or clients shared with me. I know what it's like to have joint pain. I know what it's like to have to be sick in the bed for a long time, physically and all of that. So to be, I would say bedridden, but to be stuck and unable to move. So now health is wealth. Health is the number one way, the number one wealth we can have. It's the first. After my spirituality comes health, nothing else, right? Those two things are top. And that's the first epiphany that came to me, which also guided me toward the second epiphany. And the second one had to do with letting go. I did an earlier video about letting go aspects of ourselves. Well, the second epiphany that came in was that letting go is important. It supported me to get to the next stage. And this is what I said in video number three, day three, that there's something that made me rethink something I said earlier. Now, I'm not saying letting go is wrong. I think it's a stage, a state, a stage, a, a arena, but it's not where I am now. Now, in addition to letting go, because I think it's a part of the process, I'm also bringing with me my older selves or parts of me that I'm bringing with me this person here with me to the new stage. I'm not leaving her behind anymore. I don't want to leave her behind. I'm going to pause this because I want to recenter myself so I can really say what I want to say about this rather than continue. So